So I'd like to look at a revision to our proposed ceiling over the dining room and kitchen area. What we have currently in the plans, what we thought would be simplest is the ceiling that slopes back down to the south wall and has a hip in the ceiling. So when we went over this with the structural engineer and took a look at the framing to make that hip happen, and it's a little bit more complicated than what I was hoping. So red is showing the existing ceiling structure, and then we need this purple portion. We need like a girder there to support these the roof joists that are coming up, because right now we have a big kind of box truss there that we'd be getting rid of to get the ceiling higher. And then we'd need these greens show some framing to get the ceiling shape how we wanted it. So instead of this one, the proposed simpler version, you can see why this is simpler. The red is the existing trusses, the existing framing, and we would continue those with similar framing across there. And we need a little more framing down here, so you can kind of see how this looks a little bit simpler. So let's look at what that looks like in the model. So instead of this ceiling, which has the hip in it and a slope down, we would instead be doing back to this version, which is preferred in a way that the ceiling is clean just all the way across. And the other thing so you can see there's no more hip. This soffit portion that you have in the entry comes all the way across the kitchen, and we have that standard truss that just marches all the way across to the south side of the kitchen. So the other benefit of having this south wall taller is we could look at increasing our glazing here on the south side also. So we could have these guys come higher, give a little bit of they could be a clear story window up there, and even look at kind of reshaping this window and doing a clear story window here to get that good south facing with an overhang. So in the summer, these windows don't get hit with a lot of heat and light, but in the winter it brings more light into the space, so we can start to do something like that. So let's also take a look at the outside. So all right, so on the outside, this is the existing house, and what we would want to do, so this portion would need to get demoed for that new ceiling, and then we would want to add so this version shows that proposed new roof that is going to allow us to do the framing on the inside to get that ceiling all the way up, so the gable would get extended out like this on the outside. So let's look at this inside and out. So this is the gable extension. With that, the same trusses that go across would continue across, and then inside we get that clean ceiling shape that continues all the way across there. So this is what we'd like to propose, simplifying that structure. So let me know how that looks. I should mention too, this line will not be there in the next model iteration. That's because we have the options modeled in there, but this wall will be clean all the way up to the top with no line there. And we'll look at those clear stories too. Okay, hope that helps. Thanks.